Hello, I'm Susan, and thank you for joining me on your mat today for this downward dog fusion class. This is a creative flow that uses a vinyasa of downward dog, high cobra or baby cobra into a wide legs child's pose and then back into a downward dog. And that vinyasa will link us through the different asanas that we will be doing on our mat today. Please have blocks nearby if you wish to modify. Remember to move in a pain-free range, resting whenever you want to in your pose of choice. So we will begin the class in downward dog. Palms of the hands and soles of the feet are pushing into the mat. Moving your legs however you wish as you start to warm your body up for today's flow. Coming up on your toes, perhaps dropping your feet over to the side for a couple of breaths, and then moving over to the other side for a couple of breaths. Returning to having your soles firmly placed on the mat. Breath is inhaling and exhaling through the nose down to the lower diaphragm, just behind the belly button. Even inhales, even exhales. Transitioning into a high cobra, or you can choose a baby cobra. Just starting to warm the body up, opening up the chest, rocking those hips back and forth if that feels good to you. Gazing upward slightly. Exhaling into wide legs, child's pose, arms extended. Inhaling into downward dog. Static hold. Palms and soles pressing into the mat. Transitioning into your cobra. It can be a baby cobra or high cobra. Slowly warming up the body. Wide legs, child's pose. Arms extended, forehead on the mat. Rising into downward dog. Transitioning into cobra. Exhaling back into wide legs, child's pose. A few breaths here, forehead on the mat. Continuing to inhale and exhale through the nose, past the rib cage into the lower diaphragm. Transitioning into downward dog. Bending the knees and looking to the front of the mat as we walk the feet forward, and we will be coming into garland pose. Our hands are together in Anjali Mudra prayer in the heart space. Shoulders are externally rolled back. Our spine, we're trying to make it as straight as we can from tailbone to crown. The gaze should be slightly upward. Allowing the hips to open up. Placing the right fingers onto the floor as we extend that left arm up and gaze towards our hand. Gentle twist. Switching sides, the left fingertips come to the floor. The right arm extends, gazing up towards our hand. Gentle twist of the spine. Returning to a forward-facing garland pose, hands in prayer, just for our breath. And when ready, placing our palms on the floor, walking them forward, allowing a slightly deeper stretch in the lower back and the lumbar region. Remembering to move in a pain-free range. You may hear some wind chimes blowing in the background. They're right outside my door. And the wood stove is running, so you may hear some clicks from the wood stove every now and then. Beautiful. Transitioning back into a downward dog. High cobra. And flowing back into a wide legs child's pose. Arms extended, forehead on the mat. Transitioning into a downward dog. Coming onto our knees, we're in tabletop. We will be doing some cat cows. Your toes can be active in the back or they can be passive with the toes flat, whatever option you prefer. When ready, we will be exhaling into cat. Inhaling into cow, rolling those shoulders back. Exhale, cat. Belly button draws up towards the spine. Inhale, cow. Cat. Cow. Cat. Slow, gentle movements, warming up the spine, providing mobility. Moving at your own pace and breath. Last one, coming into cat. Transitioning into cow. Coming into a neutral tabletop. We will now be bringing our right leg forward and coming into a pigeon pose using blocks to modify if you wish. Coming onto the forearms to start, allowing the muscles to slowly open and stretch in that right hip before we lower our chest and forehead to the mat. Some people may wish to stay here on their forearms, whatever works best for you today in this class. Option to lower chest and forehead to the mat for a deeper stretch, remembering to inhale through the nose, deep into the belly, exhaling through the nose, closing your eyes here if you wish. Awareness on your breath if your mind is jumping or spinning. Allowing the mind to calm and ground. Inhaling as palms return to the mat and we slowly come into an upright position. And we're going to get this back left leg and gently bring it around to the front and come into a half Lord of the Fishes position. Both hip bones are rooted on the mat. We're going to have the left hand behind our left hip as we extend our right arm to straighten our spine and then twist to the left, gazing over our left shoulder. Slowly transitioning back into downward dog. A few breaths here. Cobra. Wide legs, child's pose, arms extended, forehead on the mat. Returning to downward dog. Once again, knees are lowered to the mat, coming into tabletop. And this time we'll be doing tabletop circles. And this is a dynamic movement. Whatever works for your body, whether you're circling more in a cow position or cat, and maybe you're doing full circles or half circles. Your toes can be active on the mat as mine now are passive, but whatever feels good. We're just gonna spend some time, about a minute, a little bit more, just doing some creative dynamic movement, whatever feels good for your body today. And when ready, we'll be bringing that left leg forward, coming into pigeon, starting on our forearms first, allowing the muscles of the left hip to start to gently stretch and open. Long, smooth breaths into the belly. If you have a lot of tension in your hip, you can always use an Ujjayi breath. It helps to release some of that tension. And when ready, option to lower chest and forehead to the mat for a deeper stretch. Closing eyes in this pose if you wish. Awareness on the breath. If the mind starts to jump or spin, palms return to the mat as we slowly rise up, and then we are going to get that right leg and slowly bring it around and cross it over the left, coming into half Lord of the Fishes, ensuring that both hip bones are rooted on the mat. The right fingertips are behind the right hip as we extend the left arm to straighten the spine. And when ready, we're going to twist to the right, gazing over that right shoulder. Returning our body to face center and then transitioning into our downward dog. A few breaths here. Cobra. Your body should be feeling more limber, more fluid, more open. Wide legs, child's pose, arms extended, forehead on the mat. Continuing to release tension from our body as we breathe and move through these poses. Downward dog. Inhaling as we step the right foot through the hands, and we're going to lower the back left knee. We're just working on opening up the front of that left leg before we transition into a crescent moon lunge. And when ready, you're going to extend your arms overhead, one straight line from wrist, shoulder to hips. Palms return to the mat as we transition into this variation of tabletop. The right leg is extended. The left arm is extended, engaging the core slightly. One straight line from fingers to toes. A couple breaths here. And when ready, we're going to do 5 crunches, bringing elbow to knee. 1. You can make your toes active if that helps. 2, with balance. 3. 4. 5. And when ready, reaching the left hand back for the right foot coming into tiger. And then transitioning into downward dog. A few breaths here. Transitioning into our cobra pose. Wide leg child's pose. Arms extended, forehead on the mat. Rising up to downward dog. Inhale, left foot steps through the hands. Remaining here for a few breaths as we start to stretch the front of the right leg. Right foot is passive on the mat. When ready, extending arms overhead. One straight line from wrist, shoulder to hip. Palms return to the mat as we transition into our tabletop variation. The left leg is extended, the right arm is extended. Remaining here for a couple of breaths, engaging the core. One straight line from fingertips to toes. When ready, we'll be doing our elbow to knee 5 times. 1, 2, 3. You can make your toes active on your right foot if you wish. 4, 5. Holding here for a couple of breaths. And when ready, reaching that right hand for the left foot coming into tiger. Transitioning into downward dog for a few breaths. Grounding through the hands and the feet. Cobra. Wide legs, child's pose. Arms extended, forehead on the mat. Upward into downward dog. We'll be guiding the right foot forward, coming into half dragonfly. So the right leg will be bent with the heel in towards the groin. The left leg is extended with flexion on the left toes. Some may wish to remain here. This may be the edge of their comfort range for stretching, ensuring that both hip bones are rooted on the mat and the spine is extended straight. For those looking for a deeper stretch, we can come onto our forearms to start. Remaining here for a few breaths, allowing the muscles to open up before we have an option to lower our chest to the floor and extend our arms for a deeper stretch. So option is to remain here, or now if you're looking for a deeper stretch, we can extend our arms, lowering our chest to the floor, trying to keep our back as flat as possible without a curve in our spine. This may mean that our head is off the floor slightly. Remembering to move in a pain-free range. Slowly walking the palms upright as we return to seated. And now we will be doing a lateral stretch over the left extended leg. So some people may just be right here, and that is fine. If this is your edge, then this is where you'll stay. If you think you can reach your toes and come down, then try this. Stretching the right side body. Returning to upright, and we'll be coming into a gait variation as we now bend the left leg, come up onto the knee, position our foot, the palm is on the floor, and we're just doing a lateral stretch. And then transitioning into downward dog, you're facing in the opposite direction on your mat now. A few breaths here. Coming into our cobra pose. Transitioning into wide legs, child's pose, arms extended, forehead on the mat. Inhaling into downward dog. Now we're guiding our left foot through our hands somewhat as we come into a half dragonfly. For the opposite side, we now have the left leg bent, the left heel is in towards the groin, the right leg is extended with some flexion on the toes. And this may be where some people choose to stay if they feel a stretch, a nice stretch on the back. Remembering to only be up to the edge of our ability to stretch. Or we can come onto our forearms for a deeper stretch. Holding here for a few breaths. And those who wish to go even further can lower their chest and extend their arms as they go into a deeper variation of this pose. Slowly walking those palms back to your body as we return to an upright seated position. Now we'll have the lateral stretch over the right leg. And again, this could be where you're at, which is perfectly fine. We're just working on stretching the left side body now. So finding a tight edge that you can hold for a few breaths, remaining here, continuing to inhale and exhale through the nose, deep into the belly. Returning to upright, and then transitioning into downward dog, facing the front of the mat again. Cobra. Wide legs, child's pose. Returning to downward dog for a couple of breaths. And then coming onto our knees, and then our belly will be coming into crocodile pose. Forehead resting on the back of our hands for a few breaths. Placing forehead on the mat with Yoga Mudra behind the back, we're going to prepare to come into a locust pose. One inhale, and when exhale, rising up, shoulders and feet off the mat, legs off the mat, engaging the core. Releasing your hands and returning to crocodile for a few breaths. We will now be transitioning into shoulder opening pose. I will do my left arm first so you can see the position of my palm and my arm. My palm is on the floor. It's in alignment with my left shoulder. And I'm going to slowly roll onto my left side, place my right foot behind my left knee, and extend my right arm with tree root fingers kind of at a diagonal position. Holding here, allowing those shoulder tissues to gently open up in this pose. Slowly transitioning to the other side, we will be extending the right arm. The right palm is on the floor. The wrist is in alignment with the shoulder. And when ready, you're rolling onto your right side. The left foot comes behind the right knee. The right or the left arm is extended on tree root fingers. As you slowly roll back to open up that right shoulder. Slowly returning to your belly. Palms are by the chest as we return into a downward dog. A few breaths here. Cobra. And then wide legs, child's pose, arms extended, forehead on the mat. We will be here for about 10 breaths. This is the last pose of the class. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Continuing to inhale through the nose, deep into the belly, and exhale through the nose, helping to keep your mind centered and grounded. If your mind starts to jump or spin, just bring awareness back to your breath. Slowly rising up into tabletop and then returning into seated pose. Your spine is straight, tailbone to crown. Your palms are resting on your legs. Your eyes are closed for a few more centering breaths. Hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra to the heart space, holding gratitude for our time and practice on our mats today. Hands up to the forehead, to the third eye chakra, embodying vitality in heart and mind. And so it is. Thank you for joining me for this class. Hopefully the chimes and the barking dog wasn't too much of a problem in the background for noise. Until we meet again on the mat, be well.